There are a lot of communities here, unfortunately, because of the underlying racism in this community. People from other cultures tend to stay away and try not to, be obvious. They hide.
The project is about actually bringing to the front or bringing to the fore in people's minds the fact that there are a whole range of variety of people, cultures, arts that happen in the town, but in fact as a public, when you're looking at it publicly, it actually looks at it as if it's a very white Anglo-Saxon town. And I think the project, I hope, will highlight the fact that we have got a multitude of arts here and cultures here.
Do you ever get the feeling that you don't belong, that you're different, and that no one wants you there?
Go on, get out of here. Never wanted you here in the first place. Silly looking thing. Go on, get.
You're here.
You don't belong here.
Can't you see you're different?
Your presence isn't welcome.
Why, you're here.
You don't belong here.
Your presence isn't welcome. Your presence isn't welcome.
I've been talking to Mum, and, well, she's really keen for us to have this CSUM for our baby.
See what?
CSUM.
My folks have been at me to have a christening at St Paul's.
But I don't think my folks would go for that.
Well, whose bloody child is this?
Yeah, you're right.
Of course I'm right.
Why are we arguing about this anyway? I mean, we've always been able to work through our cultural differences without them sticking their noses in.
Yeah, that's right. Let's do what we want to do and not what they want to do.
What do we want?
That is wonderful because it shows a different side of multiculturalism. It's not only being your rights, but also your identity. Hey, we're all the same. We're no more different than anybody else except that we're gay.
Well, when Linda first mentioned it, I immediately wanted to know, well, what's it going to end up, what's it going to look like? I wanted more structural details. It seemed too amorphous, and it took me a few weeks to start thinking about, or start realising that process was just as important as the outcome.
To integrate and forget. Therefore, These are not experiences that a human being forgets. And so, as a Jew, you are faced with a profound dilemma. Do you keep it a shameful secret, only to be expressed in nightmares in which are out of your control, or do you speak about it? Because not to speak about it may be a betrayal of those who suffered the real nightmare. That was absolutely, totally traumatic. Well, it is an emotional number because you're revealing, it's almost like revealing the most private part of yourself, because, you know, the thing about your culture is that it's a part of your essence. And when I felt when I was giving that talk that I was trying to express something that really is inexpressible.
When you're talking about your past, your family, your roots, you can't not do that without emotion. I didn't break down, but I got close.
Making friends was a very hard thing to do. I've got only one real Australian friend.
So I came to this country and I was a foreigner.
Her mother is inside and she must have spotted us, and you could hear her yelling out, "Oh, don't bring those bungs in here."
A group of Aussie students were complaining about the Asian students. They were saying that we were speaking behind their back, we were talking in our own language, and they didn't like that.
The way we grow up over in Italy, you don't answer back. I was, 20? Nobody asked me if I want to come to Australia. I had to come.
The collective guilt was foisted upon all of us in Germany, regardless whether we were of the older generation or the younger generation, and that has been the burden for all my life, really.
It's definitely been pretty informative with the storytellers, because you can see what you get ideas off TV and what it's like coming across Australia from other places, but you don't actually know firsthand. And it's really good seeing, talking to people about it.
They're actually quite interesting to see all the different lives they've had, and how sort of, especially with the German woman, about with the war and things, how her family was affected by the war and how she's been affected by the guilt and stuff from everyone else.
When they talked about their experiences of racism and stuff like that, it was really sad to see how they actually felt about it.
The students felt, from what I heard, they felt really privileged that they got to have this insight into their personality, and they thought they were so brave for being up there and talking, and half the students were crying when all the horrible stories were coming out and things like that. And I think it seemed to sort of quieten them in an inner way, if that makes sense. Sort of the students really, they knew all about multiculturalism and what it means to be different and all that sort of thing. They knew about it before, but actually seeing it and hearing it from those people sort of focused it in, and that they sort of really understood it, if that makes sense.
We had music workshops with looking at a variety of cultural musics. The workshops, I think, added perhaps more, like the storytellers gave a perspective of personal experience and a personal identity, and enabled the students to see and hear what it was like for someone to be living in Bendigo. And the workshops were really on the artistic form.
Stretch it again. Hold it still, hold it still, hold it still. Okay. And stretch it again. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up you come. Okay, now let's just start a walking to this beat. Just go walking. No, hang on. Walking like this. So it's just clear. Excuse me.
Sorry.
So that's sort of very, very clear about your direction. Okay? Ready? And go. Now run.
Just following us, and then some of you will go with Richmond on the other side, just doing the same thing, and digging up, eating them, and then...
Okay, so imagine that you've got this string coming out of your centre, and it should look like this. Okay, so the body doesn't move, only the feet. Next 5. So in Japan, if you want to be a Kyogen actor, generally speaking, you're born into it. You can join a family, but you have to join the family, so to speak, metaphorically, and become one of that family's members. And then you learn how to do Kyogen from the head of that particular family. Okay, ready? Hey. From that mountain right there to this mountain here, hopping along the way, just what can it be? It's our rabbit. Well done.
Want to say something about music?
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. I think it needs to be a bit longer.
I don't quite, I think, at this stage know how they're going to end.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus! I'm very, very sorry. Let me try and...
Get away, you flaming idiot. You'll make it worse.
I'm very sorry. I did not mean
People
to
are incredible, you know.
love you.
Why don't you go back to your own country and learn how to cook a barbie properly?
There's no need to go overboard.
Building up those moments that you're making that point, I thought it was really good. Moments that you're making those really strong points, or you're doing your speech, or those absolute climatical pieces that you make very clear and structured. I think, but I mean, that's easy to do. And it's just
You know, I found that very hard to understand. I'm glad you explained it to us, but I wouldn't have got that from watching it. That's the thing.
We are human beings. We are human beings.
We are all human beings.
Good girl. Yeah, and I think too, yeah, I agree with Val a little bit more on the difference part, you know, when you're talking, because that was really lovely, you know, that was great.
Well, actually,
sure, because maybe just having a pure dance number of a particular culture is a very nice, you know, change from everything else.
That's
actually.
right. Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I was wondering whether within the basket that there were some surprises.
No. This is in regard to something else. We're being sued for discrimination.
Discrimination? We're Nazis.
This guy came in, tried to join the party. I knocked him back.
What, you know we need more members?
Yeah, but this guy was a Jew. He's black. He's a black Jew.
Oh, well, fair enough. We have no problem.
It was a Central Victorian Nazi group. So you're obviously in Bendigo or somewhere, yeah. So perhaps just have a think about each of your identities and who you actually are. Like, you can still be a black American Jew if you want to, but, you know, I think you just all have to be clear about what your nationalities are.
Yep.
So that's one comment.
Yeah, you have fine natural speaking voices. You don't need to Americanise.
They were terrific.
Yeah.
No.
And the other comment too, I think we all agreed on too, is the furniture. I think the way that we're going to do it. How do you mean?
Well, if they're not going to be here, you've got anybody from Puck here?
No, I've cancelled that one. That's out now.
The whole thing's out?
Yeah. Well, if they haven't been here for twice, that's it. So they go, yeah.
Okay.
Do they know that they're in it?
They know that they're in it.
What
They're
about
not
how many from Labels?
Can you people all come here, please? Because we have today we've got the artists all here for the rehearsal, and yet not everyone is here. So I have to ask you, what do you think the process is from now on then? Because if we haven't got everyone here, like Labels, you've got how many? Just hands up who's in Labels and how many are here. 2.
Yeah, because he's got.
Oh, do we have a script here? The Janice is gone. That's what I said before. Why don't you have the script? I don't pay attention to it.
Okay, start again. If you don't remember, just start again.
You're meant to be writing.
script here.
I'll walk in
I
and
can't remember.
can you want to elaborate further, my friend? Why can't I join your party? Get some details.
Break from school?
Yep.
Yeah, we've only got 2 weeks.
That's actually this week and then next week. Yeah.
Only this week and next week. So really, we can't go on like this, actually. We'd have to cancel at this stage.
I'm sure every company or every production company has these differences of opinion. And it's just so ironic that it should happen in a context where we're trying to understand and try and bring forth the message of understanding, that we're having these differences ourselves at our own level.
So what do you think?
Look, really, in a sense, we want to preserve as much of themselves in it, but I think there's a lot of, there's not clarity in what they're trying to say. I don't think they know what they're saying.
Yeah, it's just time is short now. We're running out of time.
So you want more direction? Yeah. What do you want, Vicky?
It's sort of hard, like more direction would be good and stuff like that. But I think just suggestions and stuff. And then if we really oppose greatly to the suggestions, we'll just talk about it and try and work something out. It has to be sort of equal in both ways.
They saw them as individual pieces. I think now there's a real sense, I think this happened perhaps about 2 weeks ago, where the students actually saw it as one piece of theatre, and that it's not just their one piece that they're putting together, and it's sort of like that. I think it's now being seen as one piece of theatre that's all working together. So that's actually been a terrific change. And luckily, that's a great change.
Go. I think we've been, with every project that you work on, there is always a panic stage. We've been through that. Last week was a panic week, and now we've rolled up our sleeves and it's coming together.
This call was only the beginning. She knew that the cries would continue, the hate would continue, the whispers would continue. That's it.
overloading slides.
Put them over here. No, try not to.
Oh, pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I.
Nice pasta. It was just not proper. What was proper? Proper was bangers and mash, some sheep's tongue, liver, and a nice shepherd's pie, perhaps. No such thing as chicken tonight back then. I think I've gone off the subject here. What was the subject? Why was I talking? Where am I? When did I get here?
Louder on that one.
Number of testicles? 2. Ah!
Better. That's much better.
See next.
Where's that? Sit down. Can we be front?
There's the darkness first, and then the storytellers, then the overture, then Mikado, and then the stolen children. Good luck. I know you'll be fantastic. And if you make a mistake, don't worry, just carry on.
Yeah, we will.
We do that anyway.
I know. Stand.
I think the more people that are aware of how it is for an individual with a multicultural background, the more understanding, the more appreciation they're going to have with people from a different culture. I think it's easier to be a bit racist if you have no personal contact with anyone.
We're trying to get like an overall discrimination, one person against another for whatever reason.
It's not racial specific or religion specific, it's a generalisation of just two different sections.
And we're just trying to represent the friction between them and how it should be reconciliated because it's basically the same.
Yeah.
cracked up laughing.
Fantastic. You all did fantastically. It was really terrific. So really fantastic. It was great.